If you're only going to physically be there, why spend the time, effort, and energy to make yourself there? I want to teach my children it's okay to say no.
The topic today is energy sources. I just took a sip of my energy drink and spilt it on my chin. That's fine.
Me trying to live my life at a certain pace is not healthy for me. If you're depleted, to figure out where you can get your energy and allow God to help you.
Restructuring life of how do you want to live, not just what do you want to do.
It was a water main broke on the city side that then decided to burst on our suburban. It burst with such power and force, it went through the vent system.
That's why you should be a community member, because you would see the bloopers reels that shows things like this.
I'm not ashamed to say I pray everywhere. I can get silence, which sometimes is in the bathroom.
Well, welcome back to another episode of Crazy Unbelievable Faith. I'm your co-host, Brian Owen, alongside my wife, Kersha.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
It's been a packed week.
Ooh.
And our topic today is the sequel, the follow-up to last week's conversation. The topic today is energy sources. And I just took a sip of my energy drink and spilt it on my chin. So that's fine. We'll save that one for That's why you should be a community member, because you would see the bloopers reels that shows things like this. So if you're not already actively joined or subscribed, do so, because you find all kinds of fun things about Kersha behind the scenes. But the week,
Am I Kersha or am I Kersha?
whatever it is, and that's another one that you've missed out on if you're not actively subscribed.
When the podcast host can't even say the co-host's name, you know
fine.
it's a good day.
It's okay. It's all right.
Okay,
Just spelled
packed
wrong.
week. Let's
spelled
go
wrong.
with it. Let's go.
Yeah,
with it.
we didn't come actively reporting from the active scene of investigation that's happening just outside of our house from this week, but we did have a water main break. It's just, and I'm not just saying a water main break.
Let's pause there a minute. It was a water main broke on the city side that then decided to burst on
Yeah.
our suburban.
Yeah.
And it burst with such power and force, it
know.
went through the vent system, and there's water damage on the electrical panel of our vehicle.
Yeah. And the windows were closed, mind you.
It was closed down.
Just the pressure of the water main. It's a trunk line that broke, apparently. Anyway, it's gravel, rock.
Like palm-sized rocks.
Yeah.
That did not break the windshield, but it did scratch. It
was the afternoon of Wednesday.
Yeah, it was Wednesday afternoon. Yeah.
So, it's been a week. I was on the front end of that.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
That was the end of my fast. I did a 3-day fast first of this week. Excuse me. And just liquids and juices, and 3-day fast. And I was pretty miserable that afternoon and pretty lethargic. And then the neighbor calls and is like, "Hey, your vehicle is being like fire hosed right now." So we went outside to deal with that. It's just been...
He came inside after they've turned off the water and decides he wants to, get sick. And I'm like, you're going to have to go get sick in the backyard.
Not good. Yeah, because they had shut the water off to our house. So we had no water in the house. So it was...
Well, 3/4 of the neighborhood got their water shut off.
Yeah. But energy sources. There was a lot of energy coming out of that water line, let's put it that way. That was pressurizing? Banging against? I don't know what we want to call it. Pressurizing? I don't know. We'll just come up with some words. But anyway, energy source for this week. Let's get back on topic here.
Where do you get your energy from?
Yeah. Well, for me, there's multiple sources.
Let's just talk about food and water do provide adequate energy.
Do a science lesson here real quick. Yes. Yeah. Food. Yes. The natural energies
Okay,
that
so
come
those
off of
3
that.
days that you only had liquid, where did you get your energy from, Brian?
So, juices still gives you electrolytes and things like that. But really focusing on, again, a house full of 6 other people that are eating in front of you is not easy. But, you just go and you pray, and I don't know, the energy just naturally comes to you. I think and it was last week we talked about distractions was kind of our first one.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes just getting distracted with the busy, kind of the busyness, the things of life, that we get kind of sidetracked to certain things. And I'm thinking, oh, I want to do this one thing when really I need to be doing 3 or 4 other things, because there's the distractions that start stealing your mind and your bandwidth away. So that, for me, the fast helped me just kind of refocus my time. And it made me think Proverbs 4:25 talks about having your eyes fixed ahead. And so for me, during that fast was just, fixing my eyes on God, that He is my source. And it would be if I was driving for my job, I was praying or talking with Him while I was driving. Might have been listening to worship music. I don't know. I mean, just
praying for the hunger pains to subside.
I did. I'm not gonna lie. That did happen.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, God,
I
please
know.
help. Because then it was Tuesday night. I was still on a food run for them while they're at a volleyball tournament.
He offered.
Yeah.
I just said,
So-
if you're sure, I'll let you go.
So Cruz was, Dad, you're doing a good job. So nice. I love Cruz. He's great. He's awesome. Dad, you're doing such a great job.
He's such an
the
encourager.
smell it was Shake Shack. So the burgers and the fries, yeah. Anyway, it was distracting me, that is for sure. Not gonna lie. And I had to pray quite a bit on that drive. I was like, God, get me to this destination to deliver this food, and then let my vehicle air out a little bit for a while. So
He
I
was
let
an Uber Eats driver
I
that
let the
night.
food go in first, and then rolled the windows down and sat there. And I was like, okay, let me get to this night. But we did. But I think, talk about the distractions a little bit from your perspective, I guess.
So, from my perspective, distractions come in the way of 7 people living in my house. I could be in the middle of prayer and mom, or the dog will come in and put his nose to my nose because, I'm praying and I'm at his level and he wants me to know that he's there. Like, I can't hear him.
All right. He doesn't do that to me, but that's okay.
Yeah, because the
He
card
senses something.
is
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you were going to get
all
that
the
last time.
things that
You
we
get it.
ask mom.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the very bottom, it says things we ask dad. Where's mom?
Where's mom?
Where's
That's
mom?
true.
Where's mom?
True.
So, I'm not ashamed to say I pray everywhere. I can get
Mm-hmm.
silence, which sometimes is in the bathroom.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, where that quiet place is. I mean, I think energy sources too.
well, I wasn't done.
Oh.
I am notorious for sitting inside my vehicle in silence after I've gotten home, letting the kids come in, and I'll sit there for just a few minutes and talk to God, pray, do what I need to do.
And what do the kids do? They come to me, Dad, where's mom? She's sitting outside in the vehicle with the
Hiding.
doors locked. And they'll still go out there and try to open your door.
Can I have this one snack?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you see I'm doing something really important?
Yeah.
Well, it looks like you're doing nothing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm spending time with God.
But-
That's really important.
But I think that brings up a good point, though, honestly, around distractions, that we can let those things derail us. We can easily say, and I'm not going to say the woe is me, but we can easily fall into that trap of, I was distracted, I wasn't able to spend time with God. Or we were too busy, and it just didn't happen.
Okay, so let's talk about a real life situation. Took place this morning.
Yeah. Oh,
Brian
that's true, yeah.
is sitting downstairs. He's spending time with God. He's focused on his time with God.
Mm-hmm.
And one of our children comes downstairs and is complaining about having to go to co-op today.
Yep.
And that the boys, for 2 weeks in a row, haven't gone to co-op. Well, last week, they had some things that needed to get done. And this week, they have a horrible cough and they need to go see the doctor. And she's upset by it. And so I left, and Brian proceeded to finish off the morning.
Got them squared away, got
Got 'em
lunches
squared
made,
away.
got them to school.
So we're eating lunch, and I was like, hey, how was the rest of the morning with said child, who proceeded to tell me I was being an awful parent by making her go to co-op because life's not fair. And he said, oh, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Didn't hear it at all. And mind you, I'm just down in the lower level in my prayer time, reading the Bible.
I said,
I
how
didn't hear
did
any
you
of it.
not hear any of it?
And I
Like,
didn't.
It was in the kitchen.
I didn't. And she's just like, I don't understand. I think that's just a blessing that God has given men, is that we can selectively hear things. It's okay. It's a gift. It is a gift.
That keeps on giving.
It does. Giving to the community, to your spouse, to your friends. It's great. I love it.
Wives,
Okay.
moms, I am going to think of a very creative solution that we can use when we're in prayer time, so that the husbands have a fair warning sign.
They do talk about building prayer cabins for a reason. Maybe you need a prayer cabin where you just go and lock
Why?
it.
So they can just pound on the outside?
That's true. That's a good point, too.
Find a hammer and hammer their way through?
That's true. Yeah, I can't.
Give them a crowbar
anything else.
and
Yeah.
let them just
Yeah.
get in the door?
Yeah. But I think I'm trying to keep us on track here.
Oh, okay.
We had
cool.
distractions last week, which we're getting distracted right now. But
No, I'm actually telling the listeners about distractions, like real life distractions that happen in our house.
It's true. It was legit. I'm not going to deny that. But I didn't hear it at all.
Well, but
so that's fine.
It plays an important role in today's conversation because he's spending time with God and he's focused. He's not distracted.
It was very focused.
And when I'm spending time with God, all 7 of them come distract me. It's like they know, Mom's quiet. What's going on with Mom? Is she okay?
It's true.
She's okay. No, she's not okay. She's quiet.
I did get a nice download, though.
Oh, that's great.
Today. So that was good.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, we can talk about that off script.
Yeah. So, but the next part we talked about was busyness versus being busy.
Yeah.
And I think you had mentioned kind of bookending your day.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
I try to bookend my day. I try with God, time with God. So I try to give him time first thing in the morning that's dedicated, and time at night that's dedicated.
When it's quiet? Is that what you're saying? When it's quiet?
Yeah. Anyways, if you guys are not viewing this, you should be viewing it.
Yeah, because
I'm
you would
giving him
see.
all sorts of
I would be
faces.
dead right now with the stares that she's giving me, but
I'm
it's fine.
not
It's
giving
okay.
you death stares.
Okay, it's all right.
Come on.
She's
Anyways.
looking through my soul.
No. No, but I do have some facials going
You
on
do.
currently.
That's right.
Anyways, but then throughout the day, and I'm going to pause here for a minute because throughout the day, there are times where it is crazy and I need to just find some silence. It's just the kids compete at which octave they could talk.
Yeah, well, that was a great example last night at Grandma and Grandpa's house. We
With
were
3
having
conversations
dinner
going
at the table, and I'm in the kitchen helping my mom, and I'm like, I felt like I was going deaf from them talking over each other, and poor Grandpa was like turning his hearing aids way down. I think he was trying to get them off, and he couldn't get them off quick enough.
Meanwhile, Jacelyn's putting bread into Faith's ear.
I was like, this is, I know people say, oh, you're going to miss these days. Well, my hearing aids probably won't miss those days when I have to have them eventually from the volume. But that's okay. That's what we do.
Actually, it was quite humorous. Jacelyn and Kinley and Faith are all talking across table, and Grandma's listening, and then Cruz was sitting between Grandma and you. And so the kids are all having a conversation. Grandma, Grandpa, and Brian are all having a conversation, and they're all sitting apart. And I was sitting there, and I was partaking in both conversations. I'm like, man, this really is a circus. I literally thought that at the dinner table last night.
But okay, so you bookended the day.
Okay,
I like
so
that.
I bookend the day.
But I want you to talk about the boundaries, because you're really good with the boundaries aspect too. Or you've gotten,
I have learned that me trying to live my life at a certain pace is not healthy for me. And it depletes me very rapidly. And when I'm depleted, I have less energy because I've given less time and less focus to God. And this is something that I think you just learn in your late 30s, early 40s. You've lived enough life to go, no, I don't want to do that. And you're able to say no. And I think that that's something that's so countercultural. Yeah. Countercultural is do as much as you can with your life. But if you can do 80% of life and delegate 20% of life to, like having a house cleaner or, someone someone mow the lawn, then that other 20%, you have additional time for rest. Yeah. And I think that that's really important. Our children used to do competitive sports, and I literally every day felt like I had been run over by a train. And now, if we have a really busy day, I'm like, I don't know how I did this 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week sometimes. Yeah. So. Well,
and there's several things that come to my mind. When we were doing regular school, just how your day would start, and it just, you're rushing kids out the door to get them to school before we had started homeschooling. And it's not the life either of us really wanted. We had seen great examples, people that have mentored us and continue to mentor us, have fed into us with that. And just, restructuring a life of how do you want to live, not just what do you want to do. And a lot of people, like you said, they're just so busy day to day.
Yeah.
And it's like they run with the tagline YOLO, you only live once. And they live, it's like that ride or die mindset of, I only live once, so I'm going to do this thing, and I'm going to go full tilt.
But they run at 120 miles an hour.
Correct. And
through life.
And yes, they might do a lot, but it's like, was it meaningful, purposeful? That's.
Did they enjoy a lot of it?
Yeah.
That's our big thing of, I want to teach my children, it's okay to say no.
Yeah.
It's okay that you miss that one thing and you chose to listen to your body and receive rest instead of
just to physically be somewhere, but mentally not be there. We talked about that last time on this. But
right.
That's kind of worthless in my opinion.
Right.
I would rather physically and mentally and emotionally be there, energized, ready to do something to help people for sure.
Well, and if you're only going to physically be there, what's the point?
Yeah.
Why spend the time, effort, and energy to make yourself there?
Yeah.
So.
Well, the last one we had last week was comparison. And you had me actually look up the Bible verse for it. 2 Corinthians 10:12 is talking about don't dare compare. And I think, I don't know, I think
that goes to that YOLO.
Yeah.
You only live once, right?
Yeah. But there's times YOLO, or we're comparing ourselves. We're looking
or
at
FOMO.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. That's our oldest daughter has that immensely. We can get that sense of she needs to energize herself. She needs some downtime. Like Kersha and I, people are like, gosh, you guys are so extroverted. We dub ourselves as the introverted extroverts. Or extroverted introverts, however you want to say it.
Extroverted introverts.
Extroverted introverts. We like our downtime. We like to unplug. We like to disappear off the grid, kind of a thing. But we also get energy off of people, being around others.
It depends on the people.
Yeah, that's true.
If the people are challenging our minds and making us look at life through different filters and
bring a different perspective,
engaging in content, it is immensely energizing for both of us.
Yeah.
If it's just surface level conversation, it can deplete us very quickly.
Well, it can be draining. People have jobs and community events and after you've worked all day and you're still supposed to be on, that can be draining for people. If you're just, you're kind of going through the motions. And I think that's where, again, back to the comparison aspect, people will sometimes say, gosh, they arrived, or they're so lucky they had those things. But it's like, are we comparing ourselves to what they had done or just where they've arrived at? Like the work ethic that it took to get there.
Right.
But again, sometimes
you want what I have, but will you do what I did to get what I have?
Correct. But we're focusing on that comparison aspect, and that's where biblically it says, don't dare compare. And we get caught in that. And I know I talked about it last week. I'm guilty of it. And I think it's taking that time through setting the boundaries, through bookending your day, really having that focused intention, going back and just saying, okay, God, find these pieces of my heart, rid those pieces of comparison in my mind or my heart, so that you're not fixated on that thing. Or, gosh, I'd really like to have that thing. The guy we met today has 4 Corvettes. That's awesome. And an airplane.
Yeah.
But
he also used to be an airplane pilot.
Yeah. Commercial airline pilot.
Yeah.
And invested his money in things well. And yeah, he has 4 Corvettes. But for some people, that's like, man, I want to be that guy. Some people want to hunt all over the world. Some people want the boat.
He
some
wants
people
to be that guy.
Yeah, I would love all of that. And I think also thinking about where people find energy. Yes, there's the dedicated time with God. And sometimes it's sitting in the chair. Sometimes it's sitting in quiet. Sometimes it's working out for people. We're just getting that energy where they can, they're working on something, they're focused on it, but mentally, some people it's, I've seen people at the gym. It's like they've got their AirPods in. I don't know what they're listening to. They're physically at the gym. They're physically doing something, but you can see it's re-energizing their body, from a healthy standpoint. Some people like to go sit by the lake or out in nature. I know I enjoy that time.
I will tell you, this man can operate at a different level if he has gone and swam laps in the pool. Because to him, it's just the body work, and his mind is able just to go into this resting place.
Yeah. I think just physical activity. Like it's a de-stressor, but it's also, it's that, I guess the saying, you can't, what is it? You can't feel your way into acting. You have to act your way into feeling. Isn't that the saying? I say that right?
Yeah.
That there's a lot of times you don't want to do certain things. There's a lot of times that, gosh, I'd rather sleep a little bit longer. Well, then that quiet time that you talked about goes away because the kids, they're up and rolling and they're knocking on the door and they're ready to roll for their day.
Well, let's just be honest. That quiet time for me goes away. The quiet time for him still happens because he just goes into distractionless time. Yeah.
So
anyways,
what else? Energy-wise,
I will say, like for me, running is a really good way that it just allows me to breathe
running
at a different pace than it's really what swimming does for him. And then because it's just, I don't have to think about running. I can just get into the motion and go. To me, just listening to, like, sitting in a quiet vehicle with music, that's immensely energizing for me.
Yeah. I'm curious how many of our viewers or listeners, when you're driving and you just turn on music, it's just, you can just kind of, it's like, how did I end up where I ended up at?
I laugh.
You forget. Like, you physically know where you're going, but it's like, there's just miles that'll drift by.
How many remember every mile marker? Nobody does.
I know.
But, anyways, I laughed or I scoffed, really, because Brian driving, he gets into this drive mode, and he's like, well, we'll talk about it when we're driving. And then he starts driving, and it's just radio silent from the driver's seat.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it kicks into gear. Sometimes it just.
Now, if he's in the
The
passenger
control
seat,
panel, the control panel has been put into neutral. That's really what happened.
if
It's
he's in
okay.
the passenger seat, he could talk all day long.
Yeah.
But as soon as he's behind the wheel, he's like, And I'm the opposite. When I'm behind the wheel, I want to talk. Like, I want to keep myself awake. I think I get car coma if I don't.
Yes, you do get car coma. Some of our kids get car coma too, and we know where they get it from. It's definitely not from me. So it's just fine. Any other energy source pieces? And again, these are just
I would
suggestions.
just say,
These
keep
are-
your eyes fixed on God. Let God be the sole source of your energy.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of today's episode.
Yeah. Well, and again, these are examples. This isn't like set in stone. Like this is the only those topics that we came up with. There's countless others
some
out
people
there.
it's writing, some people it's creating music or
Yeah.
art.
Yeah.
There's a ton of ways, but the whole point is just to get you to think about where you're getting your energy, and if you're depleted, to figure out where you can get your energy.
Yeah.
And allow God to help you.
Yeah.
So.
No, I mean you've pretty much wrapped it up. The question of where are they getting energy source from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Anything
I didn't
else?
need your notes,
I know.
man.
She's going to probably harass me after this. You didn't need your glasses on. I could have just done the whole thing. That's fine.
Nah.
Well, we appreciate you tuning in. Again, if you found anything that was worthwhile, that sparked some questions in your mind that you think would be beneficial, please forward this along to someone. That's how our community grows. And if you're not actively already following or subscribed, please do so. As our community continues to grow, we just love to be able to encourage and give hope to those around us. So until next time, have a wonderful rest of the day.